Hello and welcome to a week of my workouts. So Monday mornings, Dan and I try and wake up early and get to a spin class before work. We do the 7:30am spin at Cycle in Clapham Junction, and the instructor is so unbelievable. She's pregnant, but she pushes us so hard and does the whole spinning with us. I'm so impressed. And we find it such a good way to start our week off on a good foot. So Tuesdays are normally my first in the office day, and I like to try and do some sort of strength workout, and it's normally lower body and glute focused. So here I start with some glute activations with the band. So I've done some warm-up squats, I do some curtsy lunges, I then do some of those like fire hydrant and donkey kicks. I don't actually know what they're called. I do some of them, and then I do some frog pump, glute bridge type things. So then I start doing some barbell squats. You can see I'm super weak. Look at the tiny little weights on the end of the bars. But I try and do some sumo style barbell squats. And then I superset that with some, I don't even know what these are called, but squats to the floor and then raising the weight, just to kind of really tire out my glutes as much as possible. I then got super hot and took my jumper off, and then went into some RDLs. Again, tiny weights. There's no weight on it, it's just the barbell. But I do B stance RDLs on both legs, so I do that. And then I went into some weighted hip thrusts. I hate these. I find it so uncomfortable to get into the position. I find it really weird. I actually was using quite light weights there, and I think in the second round I did heavier weights. But I've heard they're really good for your booty, so I just do them as much as possible. And I do that whole workout 3 times generally. I then jump on the treadmill for about 30 minutes and do some form of walking. I do a combination of slow or like medium walking with some light weights in my upper body, doing bicep curls, shoulder presses and tricep extensions. And then I also do some incline walking as well. So on Wednesday it was such a nice, bright, sunny day, so we did a 5k loop around the common before work. And then on Thursdays, I try and do this HIIT workout. It's one of my favourite workouts, but it does require quite a lot of energy. essentially you run on the treadmill for a minute at not too fast a pace, not a sprint, but a relatively fast pace. Then you do jump off, get onto a mat and do 15 kettlebell swings, 15 squats, 15 push-ups or press-ups. In this instance, I use my knees at the beginning, but later on I do it on my feet, and some sort of crunches, some sort of sit-up type activity. You do 15 of those, and then 15 burpees. And again, I'm just kind of doing like in and out burpees, but later on I then go on to do like full chest full burpees. And then you jump back on the treadmill with another minute of running, jump back off and do all those exercises again, but go down to 14 of each. And you keep going down until you've done one of each. It's a really, really good workout, but it does require quite a lot of energy. Then on Fridays, I'm normally quite tired, especially if I've done that big HIIT workout. So I go for another run around the common, either in the morning or at lunch. But I do it really slowly. So I do a zone 2 run and I try and do 7 or 8k. It was pretty grim weather this day, and I'm pretty sure it started raining at the end. And then on either Saturday or Sunday, I tried to get to a reformer Pilates class, but I was way too embarrassed to film in here, so